So in the programming part, or you can say hands-on part, we are going to view, first one is installing and configuring the Ethereum. We have seen installing and configuring Ethereum, that is installation of step-by-step installation of Ethereum in the Windows 10 operating system as well as in the Linux operating system. And second one we have seen is the installation of Node and NPM. And third one is working with Web3.js. So here we have two versions we are looking at here. Web3 at the rate 1.6.1, so which is the latest one. 1.6.1 is the stable one, and Web3 0.19.0, this is the old version. So we all know that Web3.js is used to connect with the backend blockchain. So Web3.js is the package that will be used for connecting with the front end. So we can write the programs and we can run via Node, or we may also initialize it in the browser code or the HTML code, and we may make use of the backend, that is a blockchain. So as part of this, we have seen simple commands are creating instance of Web3 and accessing the accounts. These are the things we have seen. In order to access accounts, we need to working with test RPC or Ganesh CLI, that is command based wallet. Okay, it is also having the another version also. Ganesh has also have GUI edition. Actually, one can run any of the wallet. So this wallet will provide wallets in 5 and 6, provides us the dummy ethers to test our contracts. Okay, this is the way they will provide us the things. So first of all, in order to work with this smart contracts or Web3.js, in the background we are going to run the test RPC or Ganesh CLI. Usually the test RPC is the older one, and Ganesh CLI has been deprecated using on top of it. So that means either you may use test RPC, but if you use Ganesh CLI, that will be better, because JSON RPCs have been included in this Ganesh CLI, so that you can also connect with the Remix IDE also. So the next one we have seen is working with Remix IDE, which is an online editor or IDE for smart contract development. So along with this one, we have seen working with the PubETH, working with ETH, okay, and GetEth for for creating node, creating a private blockchain. So these are the things we have seen. In the Remix IDE, we have seen how to deploy, writing smart contract, compiling and deploying contract. Okay. Next one is after deploying, working with contract. So these are the things we have seen under the Remix IDE. So under the program 1, we have come across, we have inspected installation of Web3. Under the program 2, we have seen connecting with test RPC via Web3.js. So these are the things we have seen. We have inspected the installation of Web3. So in order to install the Web3, you may install it globally, or you may install it locally. In order to install Web3 globally, so we may use npm install Web3-G for the global installation. Clear? Next one is local installation, npm install Web3, simply Web3. Now, if you are working on the Linux operating system under the normal mode, then you are supposed to use sudo. And for local installation, sudo is not required. That is, root user permission is not required. Where in case of global installation, you are supposed to install it via the user requirement. And as the variation here, we hear Web3 1.6.1 is a version which is a stable version, whereas Web3 0.19.0 is the older version, as we discussed. Okay, this is a stable and a latest version. So from the version to version, the API or the functions that was defined in the APIs will vary. The reason is as the new features in the JavaScript environment come into the picture, they try to use the safe functions or the robust functions or robust way of writing the code in the APIs. So as part of this Web3, whenever you use Web3 1.6.1, so it has provided a feature called promise as a feature, which is a robust feature, which will be having that if the function executes and executed successfully, what is the result it will return. If the function is executed has not been successfully executed, what is the error it will return. So you need to handle for every function call both the error and success objects, and via that you need to take the values or capture the values. That is what the problem with the Web3 1.6.1. So you need to always handle the promise functions, and interpreting the promise functions via the code, then you need to get the values. That is what the 1.6.1. In Web3 0.19.0, this promise has not been implemented. So hence it is a straightforward way of calling the functions and getting the values. So for our convenience, I have provided in the Google Classroom both the Web3 1.6.1 and Web3 0.19.0 module files, library files or API files. So I have zipped it. Just whatever the project you are trying to do, in that project folder, you extract this Web3, whatever the Web3 type you want. Either you want to work with the older version, then you may extract this Web3 at the rate 0.19.0.zip file. Or if you want to work with the latest, if you have the good command of working with the promises and getting the values, then you may use this 1.6.1. So the first program that what I have shown you, that is connecting with the test RPC and showing the dummy accounts via Web3.js. This program what I have shown you has been made using Web3 1.6.1. Clear? So this is the one I have provided you, in which I have used the promise, how to resolve the promise and get the result and show onto the drop down box. This program have been seen in the as a second program. While coming to the program 1, we have already inspected the Web3 and just installation, then initialization of Web3, okay, and accessing Web3 functions and libraries. Okay, these are the things we have seen. While the installation also, you can, if you want to install a specific version, then you can install like this: install Web3 at the rate 0.19.0. So that means whenever you say at the rate, then the related version, that what you write afterwards, will be installed. Or you can also install like this: npm install Web3 at the rate 1.6.1. If you simply say Web3, whatever is the latest stable version, okay, whatever the stable and latest version of Web3 is available, will be installed. Clear? So if you want to mention specific version, then you may install like this. So this is the way of installation we have seen for the program 1, and while coming to the program 2, we have connected with the test RPC and shown the dummy accounts via Web3.js to the front end. So for this we used Web3 at the rate 1.6.1. Okay, same thing, same program has also been implemented using Web3 0.19.0 also. So first I have shown the older version, Web3 0.19.0 version, and then slowly I have modified it to the latest version. That is, whatever the previous APIs are there, those have been modified to suit the 1.6.1 version. That means the older modules or older library functions have been replaced with the newer one. That video I have already provided in this classroom, so you may also go through that. So now after that, we are going for the program 3. Okay. This program 3 is basically the front-end applications. Front-end applications will run under the web application. So here, that means here web browser will run it. So the web browsers will also execute this. And also web browsers are also very powerful. They have their own libraries, or they have supporting libraries to work with the JavaScript and HTML. The reason is web browsers are the point where one can execute the HTML code, JavaScript code without without any other installations. If you have web browser, you can run the HTML or JavaScript file. That means the web browser will always will be having internally this kind of libraries. So the third program is making the Web3.js library compatible to the browser on which the application is going to deploy. So for this we have used a tool called Browserify. So using this, the Web3.js was converted to suit the browser, and the converted file have been included in the web application and connected to the test RPC and presented the dummy accounts onto the screen. So in this we are not going to take the help of the Web3 installation in the current folder, provided whatever the Web3 we have installed, that we have converted into the browser compatible file, and that browser compatible file have been included in the HTML, and that HTML page was run under the browser. Now the fourth program we have seen is whatever the code we are writing or the testing of the Web3.js so far. So far we have seen testing of we have seen connecting to test RPC and getting the values. But this program will be, in this program we'll discuss this program will connect to the Remix IDE from the local directory. So what this local directory, that means we need a package called npm, we need a package called remixd to connect with the Remix IDE from the local directory thing. So here, to demonstrate working of the Remix IDE with the local folder, install the remixd for connecting to the Remix IDE. In order to do this, one need to set up the remixd folder, remixd via remix install @remix-project/remixd-g. G is to be global. This is the global installation we have discussed here. This is the global installation. Thereby the remixd will be installed, and just to create a folder. Under the folder you type remixd-s. S means the folder which you are going to share with the Remix IDE. That is the current folder. So now the server will start and the current folder will be shared with the Remix IDE. Now open the Chrome browser. Under the Chrome browser, after opening the Chrome browser, just to type the Remix, open the Remix website. So here workspaces. Under these workspaces, select connect to the local host. Whenever we run this remixd, test ETH, CD Pro 3. Now remix D space -s dot slash, that means the current folder. So now the server will start. Now you can go and connect to the local host. So under the workspace, choose the connect to the local host. So it will ask you access the local host file, or local file system from Remix IDE in using it. So connect it. So whenever it is connected, so set up notification for /. Now this folder will be appeared here once this particular connection has been made. So we are already aware of that how to work with the Remix IDE and how to deploy, or how to compile and how to deploy. So it is very easy for us to write the smart contracts and deploy the smart contracts. So that is what the idea of this particular connecting to the local host and working with the Remix IDE via Remix D. This is the command we will use for connecting the local host. This is what the program 4 is about. Now we'll move on to the next program that we have seen. Next, program 5. So that means we are step by step, we are going through the development phase. Now we are going to communicating with smart contract from front end application. We have only seen how to communicate with the test RPC, how to communicate with the how to get the accounts from the test RPC, and how to communicate to the with the Remix IDE. These are the things we have seen. Now we'll see the communicating with the smart contract from front end application. That is what the program 5 is all about. For this, I have used Web3 0.19.0. So that is the reason I have given you the zip file of the package. So wherever, in which folder you want to work with, in that folder, just you extract this zip file. Automatically the node modules and package modules, package configuration will be appeared there. Well, coming to the program 6, developing the web application using Truffle IDE, in which we use the Truffle IDE and will deploy execute the smart contract, compile the smart contract and deploy the smart contract on the test networks. Next, we'll see the writing testing cases or test cases to the smart contract, and how to verify the test cases using the Truffle IDE. That is the program 7. In between this, we'll also go through the using of the injected Web3 and how to work with the injected Web3 in using the Remix IDE and MetaMask.